This video is my ultimate callout guide for Halo Infinite. It includes the pro callouts for 6 maps, all organized with timestamps, so you can watch what you want or watch all of it. To prep for the video, I listened to a lot of Optic scrims. I figured if we're going to learn callouts, we might as well learn from the top team in the league. And most pros use these callouts as well. Of course, there's a lot more to communication in Halo than just calling out enemy locations, but if you're new to competitive or just want to improve your comms in ranked, this is a great place to start. And if you find it helpful, please like, sub, and share it around. Maybe that way your matchmaking teammates will learn some callouts too. Worth a shot. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius is, of course, symmetrical, so any callouts on this side of the map will be the same on the other. We'll start here in our base, assuming you spawn here. It's our base or blue base. Other side would be their base or yellow. I've also heard it called red, because technically Halo is red versus blue. It's a little confusing, but acceptable, I guess, to call it red. This area in here is also called window, our window or their window sometimes, though it might be easier to just say top blue or say our flag, because the flag spawns here as well. This spot I'm standing on is sometimes referred to as a mohawk, though it might be easier to just say commando. Commando spawns here. You could say our commando. In the back of the base, you could just say back base or hiding back base, depending on the circumstance, or back right or back left works as well. If you're saying this, just remember to pay attention to the context, because, well, this is, back left and back right. If somebody's hiding here, let's say, and I say he's hiding our flag on the left side from this direction, but your teammate's coming up from back here, and for him, it's on the right side, right? So if you're going to use the calls left and right, just try to remember context to make sure your teammate gets it right. But for the most part, like back left would be, back left, back right would be back right for looking towards the yellow base. It's just in your own base. It can get confusing. This side of the base you can call shroom stairs, and the reason why they call it shrooms is because there are mushrooms that grow right here. So you can call it our shroom stairs. You can call this a jump up, like our jump up to our base or our bridge here as well, but calling shrooms in this area, people will see them at the jump up anyway. You can call this bridge. The popular callout for this area is utility, or util for short. Many pros, Optic included, actually call this gen instead. I've heard it called closet as well, though a little bit less popular. If you want to get specific, this would be our gen, and this would be our high gen, the area that I'm standing on, our high gen, our low gen. If somebody's down here, you could also say he's on the sidekick. You could say he's in the gen door right here. If you're out front, you could say front our base. This is front blue or courtyard as well. You could say he's on the thruster if you want to get specific with it. This area here is referred to as a brick, our brick, or their brick. I've also heard table, our table, their table works as well. And then you have pink side or P side and car side. For those who don't know, the callouts car and pink are actually carryover callouts from way back in Halo 2. The map Midship, once upon a time, had a carbine spawn on one side, so they called it car side. The other side was colored pink, so they called it pink or P side. Because those callouts are so easy to say, they've been sort of transferred to any other map that has the same layout as Midship, which in this case Aquarius does. It's symmetrical. You've got your top and bottom mid, and then your car and your pink side. So it's just an easy carryover that pros like to use. In this case, you've got this wall here would be called our car wall. This is our car jump. This is our P wall from here to here, and then our P jump. Once we get out to car, you've got car 1, which is the floor, this section here. Car 2 is in the back. This next level where the shock nades spawn, you can say on the shocks or on the dynamos. This would be a needler normally. You can say on the needler if somebody's there. And then car 3 would be up top. This is car 3. So car 1, the back is car 2, and then car 3. You can specify it and say, our side car 3 or our side car 2, our side car 1, depending on the circumstances. This area here is called connector or top hall, or you can say our con, short for connector, or their con, their top hall works as well. Note that Optic also calls this area L as well. I think it stands for left. I'm not sure, but they call this L1, L2, and L3 instead of car 1, car 2, car 3. I think car is still the more universal term you can use, but in case you hear L, that's what Optic and some pros are referring to. Even if they spawn on the other side, they'll still call this L, even though it's on the right side, because the other side is always P. So I guess just something to keep in mind. And then, of course, you've got bottom mid and top mid right here, bottom mid and then top mid, simple enough. And then P side. Now, P side can start all the way over here. This is P door, our P door right here. If somebody's in this section, which players can hang out here sometimes or sit on this side, it's typically called our fire. Pros call it our fire because there's a fire hydrant right here. So if somebody's kind of hiding here, you could say our fire, he's hiding. This is called a fridge. Our fridge could be blue fridge or their fridge, yellow fridge. You've got a pulse carbine here. If you want to be specific, you can say he's hiding at the pulse carbine. You can call this a blue gun. I've heard players call this blue gun as well, hiding at the blue gun, our fridge. This area from like out here, this staircase, straight down up this staircase is P Street. You could say our street or their P Street. There's a ledge here I would refer to as, you could say P ledge or P sneaky on the sneaky ledge, which would be a nice way to specify it. Of course, you got P1 down here, P2 up here. Conveniently, there's a big pump on P2, so technically P stands for pump in the case of Aquarius, right? Or you've got planters down low, right? Planters also starts with the letter P, but P2, you could say somebody's on the pump if they're hiding at the pump, or you've got plasminates that spawn here. That always helps specify. You got a heat wave down low, so always remember that. These corners, you can say our side P1 or their side P1, maybe to specify it, more P1 down here. And that essentially covers the map, right? Because it's symmetrical. Everything else is the same, just theirs in this case, or yellow you can use to specify it. Okay, Bazaar. Now, this map, I think, is already out of the competitive rotation, so less important to know, but just in case you end up here, we'll cover the callouts anyway. Similar to Aquarius, it's a symmetrical map, so everything on this side, same on the other side. We actually have a red and a blue base this time. This is red base. We are currently on top red, though I think it's more commonly a red flag, or R flag is what players would call it. You could say back flag if you're in the back, or if somebody's over here, you can say maybe back right or back left, depending on the circumstances. On the other side, I would say thruster is what players call this. This whole area, they're on R thrust, red thrust, blue thrust, whatever. There's a carbine here, but most players just say thruster for this area. Then out front, you've got R base or red base, I think, for this area, though generally players don't hang out here. They're jumping up to flags. So usually the call out is you call where they're going to our flag, or, you know, jumping up flag, or you call treehouse or double doors or BR or alley, depending on where they're coming from. So we've got right here is double door or big door. This doorway here, obviously, there's a skill jump. You can technically call the skill jump if you want to, you know, specify it, or you could say the needler. There's a needler that spawns here. This area is treehouse. If somebody's on the bottom of treehouse, you can say bottom treehouse or low treehouse. But in general, this whole area is called treehouse out here. Up top is BR. Having a grapple might be useful for this, but this here is BR. You could say he's hiding behind the bar, or this is also called cafe as well. Some people call it cafe, but BR is the common call out. Despite there being a commando that usually spawns here, players just call this BR. And you've got alley as you come out here. This whole section is alley. You could call mangler. You could say he's at the mangler if you want to specify it. And then there's spike nades. At our spikes, their spikes. This side is rockets. This whole area you can call our side rockets or their rockets, our rockets, red rockets, blue rockets, whatever. Our vent, their vent. This is called vent. Then just rockets. And then usually this whole area is defined by the weapons that spawn here. But first off, we've got pillars. This is red pillars. These pillars here, obviously. Blue pillars on the other side. This whole area works for pillars. This is all double door. Got jump up to the treehouse. This whole section in front of treehouse, this is all called bridge. Our bridge or their bridge. Of course, there's a bridge here, but generally Optic or pros call this section all just bridge. So it would be blue bridge for the other side. This here is our locker. I think closet might work, or cubby. I've heard cubby as well, but this is red locker, blue locker. This is called truck. This right here is a truck, which works, right? So locker, truck, you got OS that spawns here. This whole section you can call bottom mid if you don't know where they are specifically, but to define it, you would say bottom mid, but then OS. You could say he's on OS. You could say he's on shocks, on the dynamos. This is our fruit, this area, and then their fruit on the other side. If they're hanging out here, it's just called fruit because there's fruit there. You got grapple that you would call blue pillars. Once again, their side rockets, vent. It's all the same. I think that basically covers the map, to be honest. Almost forgot about shotgun. This area right here is shotgun because the shotgun spawns here. You can call it shoddy or back shoddy. Works as well. And that is essentially it. You can combine different callouts together depending on the situation. Like this area up here is BR. You can say alley side of BR if somebody's on this ledge specifically. But other than that, you got some flexibility. Pretty straightforward. And that's Bazaar. Okay, Catalyst. I know this map is pretty hotly requested. Many people are not quite sure the callouts here just yet, so I'm going to do my best to cover it. I'm once again following Optics callouts for this map, which I believe is similar to most pro teams, but might be a little different than what you're used to. We'll see. This is a symmetrical map once again, so this is blue base, red base on the other side. We learn one half, we learn the other. We'll start with our flag, or blue flag in this case. This is blue flag. If somebody's in the back, you can call it back flag. If he's hiding back flag, you can say hiding back flag, right side or left side if you want to specify it. Now, this ramp I see Optic refer to as main ramp, which is kind of confusing because I thought this was main ramp. So maybe up to you, use your discretion here, but I believe they call this section door, as our door or blue door is what you can call it. You can specify somebody's on a shoulder maybe at blue door, and then this they call main ramp. Out here is courtyard, though I don't hear the call courtyard very often, mainly because players are typically hanging out at pillars. They don't spend much time here. So you got right pillar, left pillar, or R1 and L1, which is what Optic call this. Now, instead of ivy, I know this is considered ivy side or green, and then gold side. What Optic do is they split this like midship or like Aquarius once again to keep it as easy as possible. Left side is P side. Right side is car side. So this would be P for plants instead of pink, I guess, in this case. So instead of saying ivy, this area they would call blue P hall or RP hall for this section right here. And then P tunnel, blue P tunnel, RP tunnel, that works. You've got a pulse carbine here. You can call the pulse carbine or call it blue gun if you like. They call this area glass because there's glass here. So blue P glass, I guess you could say, art glass. This area, I believe you can call it cubby, or you can say P spawn, like blue side P spawn or blue P cubby for this area. This is all pink side. So what I'm standing on currently is P2. Down below is P1. And then up top is P3 for the three sections. Instead of having like top ivy, mid ivy, bottom ivy, it's just P2, P1, P3. If you want to get even more specific, you can say on the fragnates, right? P3 on the frags, our frags, P3 their frags. You can say on the sword, he's on sword ramp. On the sword ramp, you could say P1 at the repulsor or back repulse, hiding at repulse, right? Just using the equipment and the weapons to more specifically label, you know, where players are. Right here we got bottom mid or OS. You can call it OS. On each side, we've got spikes. There's blue spikes here, red spikes on the other side. Right now I'm standing on what I believe is a Mohawk. It's referred to as a Mohawk. This is also car 1. And then up top is car 2. So car 1, car 2. We've got a grapple. You can call grapple if somebody's hiding a grapple. Right here is blue car jump and red car jump, or our car jump and their car jump. There's this pesky corner. I don't think it has a name. I think you could just say in the corner, like blue car side in the corner, and people will get it, hiding in the corner, right side maybe. You could say blue car spawn for here, or blue car cubby, blue cubby you can call it maybe. Red car spawn, red cubby, I think, a bunch of different alternate terms here. Right here we have blue car hall or our car hall. There's also commando. You can call this blue commando, our commando. The other side would be red car hall or red commando. Down low, we've got Optic refers to this area as cuts. Through here, you can also call it car tunnel. If somebody's beside glass, you can say our car glass or blue car glass. On red side, you can say red car glass as well if somebody's like hiding in this area. There's also a combo or a plasma pistol or green gun or pea shooter, whatever you want to call it. Bazaar has one too. I forgot about that. You can use the same terms. There's a variety of terms for this gun to call it if a player's there. So yeah, this is cuts or car tunnel. And then you jump back up and you're in car hall. Blue car hall in this case. That basically covers the map. There's a skewer. You can call it top skewer instead of car 2 if you want. Top car. Top skewer, bottom skewer, that works as well. Top mid, you got the doors. Just using car and pink to better specify where players are going is always helpful as well. Like if somebody's red spikes, going car side to car glass, right? Or red spikes going pink side to P glass, or left or right. If it's CTF, you can use left and right as well because you're always going the one direction. And that's essentially it. These are Optics callouts on Catalyst. Now, if you do hear Ivy or Gold, I guess just know that Ivy is P side in this case and Gold is car side. But it would be the same thing, like, you know, Gold Hall and Gold Tunnel as opposed to Car Hall, Car Tunnel. Same type of thing, so hopefully you can translate it. But I think P and Car are a pretty simple way to get this map down, and it's something you can copy and paste to other maps like we've already seen. But that's Catalyst. All right, live fire. This is our first asymmetrical map. There's a lot of very specific callouts on this map as well, so just prepare yourself for quite a few terms here. But in this base, this whole section here is called A. This is the A stronghold location, so we're in A. In the back here is back A. You're hanging out back base, you're in back A. If you come out front, you're in A plat. So all of this is A plat here. Up to about here is all A plat. These are sandbags. If somebody's hanging out here, you can call sandbags. Very popular call out. Or mangler, if you want to get even more specific. If somebody's here, you can call mangler. Mangler spawns there. I know that Optic calls this section pit. I've also heard A garage for this section, but Optic call it pit. That's screens or scoreboard. This is screens or scoreboard. You've got window right here. Also AR, you can call it AR. There's an AR that spawns here, but window is what it's typically called. On the other side of A, we've got small door. This doorway is small door. You've got rat tunnel. This whole area here is all rat tunnel or small tunnel, you can call it as well. But small door is this door, and then big door right here. This is big door. And that covers basically the entirety of A. This then comes out and connects to green or B. So this stronghold, this is the B stronghold location. You can call it B or back B, or he's in B, or back green. This whole area you can call green alternatively. Up here, I would say sneaky, like green sneaky ledge. If somebody's hanging out here, you got spikes back here you can use to make a call as well. This connects to nest. This is nest box. Nest boxes, you can say. Right here, nest boxes. And then nest, top nest. Anywhere over here is nest. This here, I would say, would be like nest jump. This is also a nest box, but I'd call it nest jump, I guess. We'll come back closer to the center here. This area, I would say, I don't know if it has a confirmed call out, maybe white wall or cement. I think I've heard for this area, but typically because it's close to big door, it gets called big door, or it gets called green if somebody's here. You've got these pillars. These are B pillars, or you can just say pillars. This is typically, if you call pillars, this is what people expect. There's more pillars down here, which you could say are C pillars, but this whole area over here is referred to as river or mud as well, or combo. There's a combo on the wall. So a lot of different like terms you can use. You can use skill jump. There's a skill jump, tower skill jump. People would know what you're saying. Or back tower as well for this area. This area is also called elbow. Optic call this whole area elbow. So like so many alternate terms depending on what you want to call. Oh, you can stand on this button now. This is new, by the way. You could not stand on this button before. Getting ADD from the button. So skill jump here. This area is C. This whole section you can call C, but Optic calls this section tires. There's two tires here, and tires boxes. So these are tires box, or this whole area is tires. You got C box. This is the C boxes right here. So C box, tires box. This is tower, of course. Tower 1 or bottom tower, and then top tower, or back. You could say top tower here. Back tower, I would say, would be back down here. This is top tower here. There's also a carbine that spawns here, but top tower is usually what this is called. You got tower jump. You've got dummies. This is C ramp. This whole area is called dummies because there's dummies that spawn here. Dummies. You've got dummy door. This area is dummy door. This is pillar door. We're kind of going everywhere, but this is, of course, pillars. And then pillar door right here. Dummy door right here. Now we're in bottom mid. Heat wave spawns here, but bottom mid is what this is called typically. Key door. This is called key door, I think, is the keypad right here. The key door, you can say key door skill jump or something. If somebody's hanging out here on the panel or on the skill jump, key door. This is OS. The OS pedestal, OS platform, you can just call it OS. If somebody's hanging out here, OS. This area is called cuts. Cuts connects through to top mid. This is top mid. This is vent, by the way. If somebody's in here, they're in the vent. Is what they call it, vent, top mid. And of course, back to cuts. Cuts connects with dummies. That's most of the map, I think. Top mid. That's the C box, the pillars. I think that's basically the map. One quick run through. Hopefully not too quick, but those are the calls here. And then you've got, I guess this would still be A plat to top mid. Now for recharge, another asymmetrical map, a lot of very specific callouts here once again, so I'll just do my best to cover everything. We'll start with elevator. This is bottom elevator where we're standing right here. Climb up, you're in top elevator. All this is elevator. This is top A. This is where the A stronghold is, so up here is top A. You can get specific and say hiding behind the box on top A, and that works. A door, I guess top A door, but this is all top A. This you can call bottom A. You can call the plasminades if you want to be specific, but bottom A, maybe bottom A door or mangler door here, because this section is mangler. This is called mangler or top mangler. You could say mangler stairs if somebody's on the stairs. If anybody's down here, it's mangler pit. Anyone's hiding in mangler pit or maybe on the box jumping up to tower, which we'll get to in a second, but this is mangler pit here. This area is bottom mid. It's hiding bottom mid. This is camo, of course. You can say he's on camo, bottom mid on camo, hiding at the camo box. I'd call this the camo box. Bottom mid box jumping up to mid bridge. This is mid bridge right here. This right here is the tower skill jump. We call it the tower skill jump. That works. This is top tower right here. This is bottom tower down here. You can say he's on the box, hiding in tower on the box, bottom tower. Got a staircase here. I would just say on the staircase in tower, back tower maybe on the staircase. The top tower. There's a commando that spawns here. You can say he's on the commando, top tower. It's a lot you can use. Actually, not sure what to call this window. Tower window maybe, or C window. Top C window. I didn't actually even consider calling this anything. I would just say on the window if you see somebody up there. C box. This is C right here. The C stronghold is right here. So this is C. This is a silo. You can say back C or back silo if you want to call this area. If somebody's behind this, you can say hiding behind the silo, back silo. You can say silo box if somebody's at the box. You know, back silo. There's a sword spawn here. You can call that sword, of course. All this area, just back silo, back C works. Just call this repulsor. Repulsor spawns here. At repulsor works for this whole hallway. Repulsor hall, I guess. This area is called double stack. I've heard triple stack as well. I really don't know what the difference is, or like if there's one specific call for each spot or whatever. Double stack works. Honestly, just saying stacks, I think, would cue somebody to look over here, but double stack. This is C jump, C skill jump, or C jump up. Works. C stairs right here. Call this C stairs. Any spot behind the ramp, for the record, you could, like this here, you could say hiding C stairs or hiding in like the Walshy spot. Like any spot behind a ramp is technically called a Walshy spot in Halo. This is a throwback to Walshy, of course, pro player back in Sanctuary would hide behind the ramps on Sanctuary. They call that the Walshy spot. So technically, if somebody says he's hiding on the Walshy, let's say in Mangler Pit, then that would mean he's down here hiding under the ramp. So like if there's a spot under a ramp anywhere, you can technically call it a Walshy. That works. Out here is Long Haul. In here, this whole area, Long Haul. This area is called Sneaky. You can say on the frag nades as well, because frags spawn here, but Sneaky. And then Long Haul, once again. Long Haul out to... This area is pretty popularly called Trippy Corner. This spot, Trippy Corner and Trippy Box. Right here, of course, Optic doesn't call it this, because that might be confusing. Trippy's on their team. They call this area Caution. So if somebody's here, they call it Caution. You can call it Caution or Trippy Corner, whatever works. I think it's called Trippy Corner because Trippy makes plays in the corner. I think he did early on in HCS, so they called it that. I don't know if that's the origin story. You could call this Caution Box as well, or B Box if you like, because B is right here. This is the B Stronghold. The B Stronghold has 4 batteries. These are called batteries. If you want to specify which battery a player is hiding behind, they do it by, like, so this is R1, as in right 1, L1, L2, R2. So you can say he's in B, R2, and the player, your teammate, will know that he's hiding behind this battery specifically. So R1, L1, L2, R2. This here is grapple. You can say he's on grapple, on the grapple ledge. This is the bat ledge right here. Throwback to Halo 5. I'm sure there's other Halo games that have a bat ledge call out, but this is bat ledge. You can just say shock. Shock spawns here. This would be shock. This is top gold. Up here is top gold. I've heard red for this section as well, because there's the red lines in this section. So top red, if you hear that, same as top gold. This is also called glass here. If somebody's in this spot, glass, which might extend out to here, though I've heard attic for this spot as well. You can technically call it attic, or glass, I think, works for the glass here. Top gold. You can call this gold stairs or red stairs, I've heard, for this staircase. You can say this is gold hall. This is all just kind of top gold, and then pipes. Once you get here, you're at pipes. Some people call it orange pipes. Doesn't really matter, but pipes, they'll get the point. If you say pipes on the frags or on the combo, there's a combo here. You can call this gold door. Optic calls it gold door, or pipes door. Works as well. Out the pipes, then bat ledge. This area here is called triangle. Some people call it hell because this section is called heaven. Any high location that pros are not sure what to, like if there's a high location on a map and we're not sure what to call it, I think they just call it heaven. So this is called heaven. And typically when there's a heaven, there's a hell. But triangle seems to be the more popular call out for this spot right here. This is triangle heaven up here. This whole area is called turbine. If you're in here, this is turbine or whirlpool, I've heard as well, but turbine's easier to say. There's a needler here. You can say he's on the needler in turbine or in turbine on the boxes. I don't know what to call this, to be honest. I open to any, options in the comments, but maybe like a fin or an arch or a pillar. He's on top of the pillar, on top of the podium in turbine. I don't know. Let me know what you call this section. But I think that pretty much covers the map. You can say this is A stairs. Almost forgot about A catwalk or top catwalk right here. Top catwalk, A catwalk. You say A cat or top cat for this section works. Pretty important to know. And that's basically it. That's recharge. You can, you got flexibility in the end of the day. Like there's a little corner beside the red stairs there. You can say hiding in the corner, red stairs or gold stairs or under glass. He's under glass in the corner, hiding. I mean, you can get kind of creative with it as long as in the end of the day, your teammates understand your calls. But that covers everything you need to know for recharge. And finally, streets. This is the last map I'm covering. There's a ton of callouts in this map, a lot of alternative callouts to each spot. So this might be the trickiest one, to be honest. Maybe save the best for last. Let's get into it, though. This section is blue side of the map. Technically, you can call this all blue here or PD side. This is red on the other side, though it's also called C or subway. We'll get to it in a second. This area I hear called hollows, this blockout center, because it's a hologram. If you say on the hologram, hollow, people will get that this is the spot. This here is the A stronghold. You can say top A. The A stronghold is right here. There's a commando here if you got to get specific. Back A would be back here. I hear Optic call out back soda, and I'm not sure what back soda is, but I think it's this. This box is what they're referring to. I'm not sure. You can let me know in the comments, but I hear them say back soda in this area, which is also technically back A here as well. There's a drop wall as well, if you want to call that. Back A. This would be bottom A or bottom nest. This area is also referred to as nest. Here, too, you could say top nest or bottom A, top A, front A for this area, too. This is called PD, short for police department. If you're in here, this is PD. They're in PD. This ledge up above is called heaven. If you hear heaven, that's what this is referring to. Another high spot once again. Here, you can call it PD ledge as well, and people will get it. If you say PD ledge. This area here is called danger or caution. I hear for this spot. I think I've heard dead end before, but danger or caution, I would say, is what people call it. This area is tires. There's tires in here. So this is known as tires. If somebody jumps up on this ledge, I would call it tire sneaky, probably. If somebody was up here, I'd say tire sneaky on the ledge. This area is called laundry. It says laundry right here. If somebody's hiding here, laundry. You can say on the generator. All of these objects are generators. They all have different names. You can say laundry on the gen. Or this right here is called blue gen. If somebody's on this, you say blue gen. This one's called green gen. I heard this one, I've heard it called A gen as well, but green gen is what Optic call this gen specifically. You can call this a planner. You can say, A, back A behind the planner. This is called cafe. Cafeteria, cafe. If somebody's in here, they're on cafe. There's a pulse carbine as well. Blue gun, cafe. This goes to shoddy. This is called bulldog or shoddy or vending machine. This is a vending machine, but bulldog is what they call it. Down here is known as ATM. If anybody says ATM, it's referring to this spot specifically. There's a couple different ATMs on the map, and we'll see them in a second. But if you hear ATM, it's this spot right here is ATM. This area, of course, is mid or main ramp, you can call it. You can just call it mid. Rockets as well. Rockets spawn here, but main ramp, mid. Yeah, all works. Skill jump. If somebody's, it would just be laundry or tires in this case. I hear Optic call this flowers for this section. I just call it planner, hiding behind the planner. If you say planner, this is the biggest one in the map. Generally, people will look to this one first, I find, so planner. This area here is the B stronghold. This section, there's different callouts for different sections of the B stronghold. Like this is B, but this area is called arcade. If somebody's in this section of B, it's called arcade. And then Optic calls this area market. For this, anywhere in this spot of B is market, alternatively, especially if it's, if you're playing oddball, let's say instead. I hear people call this section ice cream, I believe. I would just say red alley. Is it? Oh, yeah, right here, ice cream. That's why. So people call this area ice cream because there's an ice cream vendor, I guess. But red alley is what I hear Optic call this specific section. And then you got red room. This is red room. You can say he's on the cooler, on the water cooler in red room, if somebody's hiding there. There's a thruster. This whole area is called driveway. If somebody's on here, this is all driveway. You could say on the thruster, this is the pizza jump. You can call it pizza jump if you want, or commando jump, because that's commando over there. But just to finish this off here, you've got B rail. This area is called B rail. If they're on the railing or up above here. These are B pillars. B pillars, which connects to the planter and tires here. You've got B stairs right here. This is B stairs. There's a sentinel beam that spawns here. You can say on the sentinel. If somebody is here on the sentinel, this is B stairs. There's another generator here, right? So you can say hiding B stairs on the gen. If you want to get specific, help somebody out on the gen. This area is called trash right here. On trash, because there's trash cans. Up here is commando. I don't think this has an official name other than commando. Just happens to be a commando that spawns here. So this whole section is referred to as commando. This area we're coming into is C. You can call it subway as well. This would be back C. Back here, this would be just C or bottom C, you can call it. Or bottom subway. Subway, if you want to call it that. You can say hiding C driveway at the ATMs, right? Like here's where you can use the ATMs to specify where somebody is. But if you just say ATM by itself, somebody's going to think you're calling over there. So say, you know, driveway at the ATMs. If you want to get specific, this would be bottom C. This section is called ivy. This is back ivy back here because there's, I guess, ivy growing in this section. So they call it back ivy. And then ivy is anywhere up from here out to about this spot is all ivy in here. You can say ivy hiding behind ATM. Once again, there's ATMs right here. There is a stalker on the wall here. You can call it red gun. You can say he's at red gun, hiding at red gun. Or ivy. Ivy is kind of called for this area also, but red gun works if you want to get specific. There's a balk. C balcony. C balk for this section. You call it C balk. This here is C stairs. You can say they're on the spikes or hiding behind the spikes on C stairs. This spot people like to hide is all C stairs in here. Though this connects to purple. This is called purple street. So purple right here, you could say he's at purple, purple street, or pink I hear sometimes, but purple is generally what it's called. It connects to ATM. This spot here, somebody's hiding here, is called benches. He's on benches. Just call that benches. These you can call planters or palms. You could say front C for this whole section. Technically C courtyard, maybe a front C would be a front subway works, and you can call these palms. You can say front sub hiding at the palms or planter or something. They'll get it, right? This area, I think Optic refers to as cuts. So there's B stairs, but I think anything out front, like if somebody's hiding and going to mid, like I think they refer to this as cuts or just this. Maybe it's an alternative for B stairs, but I hear cuts in this section. I think that covers the map. Once again, I think that's just about it, right? You got your gens, PD side, subway. I think we got it. And that covers it. You now know all the pro callouts for 6 competitive maps in Halo Infinite. So time to turn the mics on and start calling out. Now, of course, I know that HCS Season 1 is over. Bazaar, for example, is not going to carry over to Season 2. We're going to have new maps as well. So I figure if I do any other callout videos, I'll just add the new map to a playlist so we can jump around and figure that out when we get there. Of course, there is a ton of depth to communication in Halo, and this is really just kind of the surface level of it. A couple more, universal terms you might hear when you're playing is, on my X is, I guess, a decent call it. If you die, you can say, he's on my X, on me. If you hear one shot, that's typically one BR shot away from death. When people say one shot or two shot, they're using the BR as the center point, I guess, for that. So 2 BR shots from death would be a 2-shot. Half shields, players half shields. If you hear absolute is basically 1 shot, but maybe even more. Then like his shields are gone and maybe his health is down too. So he's just hit him with anything and the man's gonna die, or 1 bullet. You could say no shields. I hear cracked sometimes. I think that's an Apex term. If his shields are broken, cracked, I guess, works as well. So just some general terms. Beyond that, I would say try to think about how you sound when you call out. What's your energy like? What I mean is there anxiety in your call outs, or is there anger when you're calling out, right? Like it's good to have energy and to be articulate, but if you're very anxious, if your voice sounds anxious, you can make other people feel anxious. Or if you're angry, you might make other people angry, right? In the end of the day, it's about being a good team player. It's about all of us hitting flow state. So try to think about, and you can hear this with pro players. They call out in a way that has energy, but doesn't incite any sort of anxiety or anger or annoyance or anything. It just works, right? You just hear it, you get the info you need, and they don't put too much emotion in it, just the right kind of energy. Anyway, that covers it for this video. I think you guys got more than enough info on callouts. If you guys like this content, remember to like and sub to the channel. Check out my other videos. And as always, good luck on the way. I'll see you soon.